Hi, I'm Jake Martinez. I'm currently a motion graphics generalist at fisheggs.tv. Was doing just like really basic 3D animation stuff at school, and I knew you could use it for animations, not just still images or whatever. But once I started seeing that and getting into basic 3D, for me, that awakened me to say, okay, this is a career choice I could actually try to achieve or go down that path and actually start going to school and trying to figure that out. Took junior college at first, and that just to get my feet wet, and just kind of took this 3D class and they had, and from what I realized was like, you got to spend a lot of time. The instructor was like, you're not here for 8 hours a day for 2 or 3 days out of the week. Don't even sign up for this class. You're not going to do anything. The class gave me a way to exercise that stuff, and then I just seeing that it was possible. I think that's when it was like, okay, I want to try to achieve this. And I don't think I even knew that there was like really a motion graphics industry at that time. I just knew it was either film or something. I knew there was a place. I didn't know really where that was at the beginning, starting it. I think I had my first job prior to starting school, and I was doing just this adult website, doing GIFs and things like that, and porn layouts for websites. And it was just a way to scrape by and get money to have for the weekend, and started working at this small web company that was just ran out of the guy's bedroom, and basically it was me and a couple guys, and they did a lot of Flash stuff, but they didn't have any 3D elements, and they were building kind of small games and stuff, and I would just kind of supplement their games and stuff with the graphics that they needed. Worked there day and night and would be there all the time, just trying to up my skills and learn new things and try to figure out how do you do this. I left there, and then I think there was another company, a small production company in Vegas, and they did pretty much hired me on as their graphics guy to kind of start doing stuff. And that got me into kind of this motion graphics role. Oh, okay, what's time code? What's the frame rate sets and for these playbacks, and just getting that whole just basic understanding of formats and all that. A good friend of mine that I worked with in Vegas, he actually moved out here and started working at the place I'm currently employed. And he introduced me. It was just a friend of a friend, and they needed an artist, so he brought me in, and I've pretty much been here since then, yeah. Just about 4 or 5 years, I think, yeah. Just seeing multiple render passes, I think render pass ability was a huge oh crap, I could totally erase a light from my already rendered image, and if I do it in these steps, it'll give me a huge flexibility on how I can post-process it after the fact. One thing alone is pretty much the foundation for how a lot of the 3D gets put out and how we put it all back together and try to make it look like, the board and however things were kind of designed to look. It just gives it that ability to change after the fact. I think that is huge. For me, I was like, whoa, you can totally erase lights and do all this stuff, yeah, and relight, or, it was cool. That was, I think for me, it tripped me out. Early on, I know I kind of jumped around a lot. I jumped a little around, maybe too much into different things, and I feel like I wasted a lot of time on certain things, or trying to always chase maybe the newest thing. I think figuring out what you truly love to do and focus more intensely in that. I've noticed, I think depending where you're gonna work, some people might need a generalist more, where you need to have a very thin but expansive knowledge of kind of the whole thing, where if you want to work for somewhere like Blur, or a company does some higher end stuff too, you might want to focus in a niched area, and really hone in on that one skill set, and that could take you further, I think, in a more specialized arena. Then on the other hand, there's generalists. I'm more of a generalist, where you have to know every kind of, at any corner they're asking you to do anything, and it's like, you have to have even just a slight knowledge of it. The applications are vast. The applications change. You know, 1 year it could be this is the hot, you know, this is what everyone's doing, and 3 more years down the way, it might not be the best application for that, for a certain task, you know. Every day I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, I have no clue, and it all gets thrown on you, and you just gotta do it. You gotta figure it out, even if you don't know the exact best solution, and figuring out what's the best tool for the job and how do you implement that and work within your pipeline or your structure of where you're working at. I think that is a good skill set to have, because then that you know, in a generalist position, it would help to not just be this is the one thing we use and that's all we can do. I think that helps. Just looking at other people's artwork, seeing like, wow, I know my stuff's maybe not at that level, but like if I work and try harder, I can maybe achieve that, or learn a skill set that is going to make me be able to do the tasks that need to happen to get that look or that style, or you know, if I'm going to try to emulate that, I need to figure it out. And for me, I mean, a lot of times it's just going home and like, wow, this other software is there, and you know, download the trial and load it up and just play around with it. And for me, that's sometimes like, I might be totally burnt out from work, but I'm still at home sometimes like 2 in the morning, like, wow, this is really exciting for me, you know, like, oh my God, I'm able to do something that's, you know, I couldn't do before. And it's like another tool in the tool chest, you know, something else that I could put in there and say, okay, well, if the time comes and I need to unwrench that pipe, this is the tool I want to do that, you know.